Hi guys, Liz here, aka Isabelle Cheren, Bondo Babe, Liz for Paris Adore, and all my bots. I wasn't going to use all of that to introduce coffees when I use my real life, but do you know what? I've been really tempted to do it just for the hell of it. Anyhow, welcome to another Coffee with Isa. As I said last week, I'm going to do these little real bits every time I do this. You can hear noise in the background because I actually have visitors here. And the only reason I'm doing it now, I'm recording this bit now because it's really bright. And if I do it when everyone goes, it's dark, and so it's a bit, you know, anyhow. They think I'm mad. Anyhow. Welcome to Coffee with Isa. I would tell you what I'm going to be talking about, but you're just going to have to watch when I turn into my virtual girl.
I think I told you not to trust her. She's all about that game. Don't go and fall in love with that girl. She will only cause you pain. Don't think she loves you, she don't mean it.
Hi guys, Liz here. Did you notice I didn't say Isabelle and all that stuff? That's because I said it at the beginning. It seemed pointless me saying it again. I mean, really. I could have said it twice, but I thought, I'm going to spare you. I'm in this pool. Yes, I am. Wishful thinking, because currently over here in the UK, it suddenly went down to, freezing temperatures this weekend, and I decided I was going to put a bikini on. Perfect sense, yes it does. I'm at a place called the Play-Doh Mansion. Yes I am. All sorts of lovely sights to be seen here. It's actually very, very, very lovely. It's an adult themed place, but it's actually a very lovely place to visit. There are some amazing bits around here. I mean, just the house where I'm situated by the pool is just absolutely gorgeous. There's a forest and there is a mermaid area, and to be honest, I haven't explored all of it yet, but I thought, because my friend Jackson was filming here, and I thought, I'm just going to lie here and film my Coffee with Isa. What the hell? So while he's busy doing that, I am lying back here in the pool in the sun with my sunnies on and talking to you. As I said in my introduction, I was going to touch on TV, actually. I had the TV on in the background. I always have the TV on in the background, but I've got visitors here and we all have the TV on in the background. It's really funny. I don't actually sit there and actively watch it, which is really funny. I watch it first thing in the morning before I go to work. I normally watch the news in the morning, but I don't watch the BBC news because it's far too serious for me. And I like to start my day with a smile and some laughter, because if you start your day with all the bad news in the world, said by really grim people, it really doesn't set your day up very well. So I watched, in the UK, there's a channel, ITV, and they do a breakfast show in the morning, and it has Piers Morgan, and I think probably most of you know who Piers Morgan is, and I love that man. Oh my God, do I love Piers Morgan. Some days I want to throw things at him. Yes, I do. I don't agree with everything he says, but on the whole, I really like him. He just gets people talking, and he he's not afraid to give an opinion. These days, a lot of people are afraid to give their opinion on anything, and I just think, you know what? Life's so short to not give your opinion because you're too scared to give your opinion these days. It is such a difficult thing these days. People trip over themselves trying to be careful about the things they say and do, that actually they forget that why they're actually living. So if you've got an opinion, give it. And that's why I like him, because he just says it as he sees it. And I admire anyone that does that, because I just think, like I said, life's too short to not say it as you see it. So yeah, I watch that every morning, and I love the banter on there, and it's, I do that before I go and get the bus. And in the evenings, there is only actually one show that I watch. And the reason why I'm talking about this is TV license. Those of you around the world that don't know what a TV license is, it's one of these chains around our neck in the UK that you have to pay a TV license. You can either pay it annually, you can pay it monthly, or you can pay it quarterly. for the mere fact that you might be watching anything to do with the BBC, I actually do not watch anything to do with the BBC. There was a stage I used to watch one program, and I don't even watch that now because actually it's rubbish. I don't think it's worth my TV license, but apparently I still have to pay it. Over here, if you don't pay it, you can stand to get quite a hefty fine, like in the region of £1,000. I think that is the last time I checked. And I've heard of people, you could go to jail for not paying it. How ridiculous. You're going to go to jail because you watch television. What a load of rubbish. Honestly, governments try and put things on you and get revenue out of you. And do you know what? I have learnt that actually the TV license pays for, like Harriet will tell you, for a lot of people to earn ridiculous money. So I'm your average sort of low paid person. I don't even consider myself, I used to consider myself middle paid, but because of the way the cost of living is going and everything, I now consider myself a low paid person because my wages have gone down because the cost of living's gone up. And we have to pay for a license so that we can watch a bit of television, right? We're paying for the wages of those people that appear on our television, and they're getting ridiculously high incomes. Oh my God. Yes. I mean, seriously, we're talking about 100 grand, some of them, and I just, probably even more, some of the officials and that work at the BBC. And I just think, are you kidding me? Why should I pay a license for this rubbish? So I've taken to not watching anything on the BBC. I am actually going to stage a protest soon, and I know a number of people have done it as well, actually, and some of them have been quite successful in avoiding paying the license because, frankly, the license actually pays for the BBC network. So anything to do with the BBC network, you'd be paying a license for. So if you listen to the radio or you perhaps watch one of their programs on the internet or something, and the TV, so they're not stupid, are they? I expect they'll probably come round if you buy a CD and charge you for that. Who knows? But that's why you pay a license. You pay for the BBC network because they apparently do not have advertising to fund. Although, yeah, why? Why not? I don't understand it. I don't care if there's adverts. I actually like adverts. It gives me time to go to the loo. It gives me time to go and get a drink. I think a lot of people don't mind adverts. So we'd rather have adverts than pay this license, which is like a chain around your neck just so you can have a freaking TV set. And you know what? You can't get away with not having a license. The minute you go and buy a new television, they take your details and the license people are onto you. It's like this communication undercurrent thing, and they contact the TV license people. Yes, they do. And then all of a sudden, you're contacted. Have you got a license? I hate the thing. So anyhow, what I was saying is I'm going to stage a protest. I'm actually considering just stopping paying for my TV license. Because to pay for it, it's only for anything to do with the BBC. I only actually do watch TV channels that are commercial channels. So frankly, why am I paying for something that I actually don't use? No, not even my son does. I mean, my son doesn't either. I mean, he has Netflix in his room. He spends his time on Netflix, if anything. And so do I. If I do choose to watch something, I'll watch a film off there or whatever. So I'm actually considering boycotting the license. I'm sure Harriet will be able to cover that, because she did cover the BBC once before. I think she's due to cover them again. Yeah, they're not paying her well enough still. Yeah, despite my license fees paying for her wages. I know she's a pretend character. But still, I speak fondly of her because she is me after all. Yeah, she is. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on the thing about televisions because... and I don't think many of us watch as much TV as perhaps we used to, because we are more, we do watch TV, but we're more into these alternative accesses like Netflix and a lot of the Sky channels and cable channels and things like that. So we see a lot of our programs that way, and BBC Exactly. That's what I think of the BBC. I can live without your documentaries and stuff. I can go and find those somewhere else. That's the beauty of what's available out there these days. You've got choice. And so my choice is actually I am going to stage a protest and I am going to stop paying the TV license. If I end up in prison, I'll do a live stream from there. No, I know I won't end up in prison, because what happens is when you don't pay your license, they do a lot of reminders, and then they send the TV detector van around, and it comes and it's got this big dish on the side, and it supposedly picks up what you're watching. Well, it will only pick up the fact that actually I'm on one of the Netflix channels and I just have it going in the background. I have a program playing in the background or whatever, or I'm on the internet, which has nothing to do with the BBC. Yeah, but that's that naughty side of me that just really wants to challenge them. So yeah, I'll let you know when I do it. I'll do a countdown and I'll let you know, because I'm going to go on a tangent. Anyhow, this last week, parts of this last week weren't very good. I did touch on it on Friday's quick vlog that I did. I was quite, as the word goes, triggered. I'd had a really rubbish day. It was a rubbish couple of days. And I came home really, really super stressed from work. And I actually did record a vlog explaining why I was super stressed, what was going on, and all that kind of thing. And I spoke for quite a while. At the end of that I took that recording and I put it in my things I'm never going to let anyone hear folder. I do actually have one of those folders. Every time I do a Coffee with Isa or any kind of vlog, sometimes I'll just get to sit down and I'll talk, and at the end of it I've got off my chest what I needed to get off my chest, and I feel a lot better, because I don't really want people to have to listen to me when I'm triggered, as the saying goes, because I can get quite upset, but also I could get quite passionate about stuff, and I do swear. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know. Shocking. I know. A sort of a law-abiding citizen like I do use words starting with C and F and B and anyone else that I can make up. My favourite one that I do use at the moment, and I don't call it a swearing word, but it's twat waffle. I use that a lot. So whenever someone's talking to me and I think they're talking bull, I will go, "You're talking a lot of twat waffle." Some people look at me and go, "What?" And I think it's because I say twat and most people say twat. So I could say twat waffle, but it doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't roll off my tongue very easily. But yeah, I probably have about 11 recordings in my folder that I wouldn't let anyone hear. And I did speak to Maddie Wyatt the other day, and I did say to her, sometimes I'm considering taking all those recordings, chopping them up and making a video and letting people, and just, I guess it would be a blooper one, but not quite a blooper one, and just letting people hear how I can rant. But then I might spare you. Yeah, if you... No, I best not. And the funniest thing about me is I laugh even when I'm ranting. So even when I'm impassioned about something and I'm really going off on one, I still laugh. It's just bizarre. It's quite evil when I think about it. Can you imagine me with my head spinning like the Exorcist going... Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. Perhaps I'm a bit split personality. I don't know. No, I'm not. Yeah, one of the things that I've spoken about in a previous coffee before, I think way back when I started doing coffees, I spoke about homeless people in my local area, and I don't know if any of you listening had listened to some of my earlier stuff. And I spoke about one man that's on the street, and he was probably about middle age. He looked like he was a professional. I'd watched him deteriorate, Well, anyhow, I hadn't seen him since last last autumn, I think it was, just before the winter really kicked in. I haven't seen him about. And, you know, you just assume that he's found a different haunting spot to go and hang out, you know, because a lot of the homeless people, the true homeless people, they cycle where they hang out. And I think it's a territorial thing amongst them. They find their own territory, and then, you know, someone moves in, they go and move somewhere else, that kind of thing. So I hadn't seen him. I was worried about him for a while, and then I thought, okay, he's probably just found somewhere. Anyhow, one of my colleagues from work came in the other day, and she absolutely made my day. She said to me, Liz, you know that guy that used to be homeless, that used to hang outside, and you used to fit, because I used to give him bits. I used to always give him food. I never give anybody money, mainly because I haven't got much myself. But I used to always get him something like a cup of tea, a sandwich, you know, chocolate bar, that kind of thing. And I said, yeah. And she said, I've just seen him. And I went, oh, is he okay? And she said, he is more than okay. She saw him at this place that he used to go for breakfast. There's a place called Weatherspoons, and they used to, it's like a family pub restaurant kind of thing. And it's really cheap, and everyone goes there. And he used to go there every day, and they used to give him a free breakfast, like a fry-up breakfast. I mean, how cool are they? I mean, really cool. And she said she'd seen them then. I said, oh, bless him, I'm so glad. And she said, no. She said, he's changed. And I went, what do you mean he's changed? She said, he had a high-vis jacket on, he was shaved, he had a nice haircut, and he was sitting there with someone, and he was having a beer. And he looked like he was just having a lunch break from work. And I was just like, what? And she said, yeah, he looks like he's got his life round. And do you know what? I kind of shed a tear, because I was just so happy, so happy to know that he'd kind of got his life round. You know, there are some people out there that deliberately, I do believe they are, deliberately bring stuff upon themselves. You know, they abuse themselves, they come, you know, and I know it's not always their own fault, but a lot of them, you know, drug addicts, alcoholics, that kind of thing. And, you know, the place that they end up in is somewhere where they've helped themselves to get there. He always struck me as someone that had everything in his world on his plate. He had it all, and something happened and he just lost it all. And someone like that, I guess I feel a little bit more connected with. And the reason for that is I guess a lot of us are like that. We have it all. We probably take for granted what we've got. I know I do most days. Lately I'm not, actually, to be honest. Lately I'm not. I'm actually starting to think more about my situation, which I'll go back into in a minute. But, you know, you realise how quickly someone's life can change. And when like I said, when I first saw him, he looked like a respectable businessman, family man, and he was there with his sort of backpack and his like hold-all bags, and he was quite smart in terms of his clothing. And I watched him over a period of a couple of months deteriorate, get dirtier and dirtier, and it kind of really broke my heart. It was really difficult to watch, because he could have been my dad or my brother or whatever, and that was really hard. So to know that he's got his life back, I'm more than happy, because I just think that's what I wish I could see more often. Unfortunately, it isn't what we see more often. I don't know how he got his life back. I gather something within him snapped, and he made that choice. And the reason I know that is around the time that I was trying to help him, I spoke to, there's a local organisation that helps people that are on the streets, and they offer them a bed and they offer them food and that kind of thing. And I actually got in touch with them about him, and I said, look, there's this guy and he's sleeping on the bus stop every morning, and they said to me that they were very aware of him. They had already approached him, but he actually had chosen to stay out on the streets. And yeah, and they too said, don't ever give money, that's great that you give them food and stuff. But he had chosen to stay out for whatever reason. I don't know what that is, whether he perhaps was going through a mental illness period. I'll never know. But all I can say is he's back on top of his world, I guess. And I hope everything else that brought him to that is back in his life. Yeah. But yeah, going back to me, I'm guilty like all of you. You take everything for granted. Do you know what? I was recalling when I was young, the things that my parents had when I was young and what we had as children. And what we had as children was very basic. I remember I had my $6 Million Man toy because I used to love the $6 Million Man. And I had my first Doris Day record. I know. I liked old music as I was growing up. I really loved old music. My parents thought I was weird, but I had a Doris Day record. I asked for a Doris Day record. I didn't have a record player. It's so funny. I had basic things. We had dogs. We had outside, and most of my life was spent outside. At the age of 6 and 7, I used to be able to go to the park with my brothers. That was normal. That was okay. I used to go out and about, and I didn't have my parents breathing down my neck. But these days you can't do that. These days it is so unsafe. You can't be free like that. And these days, I don't see as many kids outside as I used to see when I was outside as a child. It's completely different. They're more sat in front of the television. They're more playing with their computer games or anything sort of techie and IT-ish. Is a lot of kids these days, or their heads are buried in their bloody phones. Don't get me started about mobile phones. But anyhow, but like I was saying, back then, when I cast my mind back to now. So back then, my parents used to be concerned about keeping the roof over their head, paying their gas and electric, we didn't have gas actually. We just had electric because, growing up in Australia, we didn't really have gas. I didn't need gas. I can't remember. I needed it for the stove and the hot water. So I don't really know. I can't remember. But it was just about paying bills, like proper bills and like a landline phone number, because hell no, there was no mobile phones as I was growing up. Probably in America there might have been, I don't know. All very rich people. It wasn't something amongst, sort of my lot. We had a TV. That was it. TV. And a video recorder. Yeah, back in the days of the video recorder. Yeah, but we didn't have computers and we didn't have mobile phones. We didn't have all those things. And the reason I'm mentioning them is the cost. So back then, when my parents were parents and they were running homes, their financial outlay was based on actual bills necessary for living. These days, our financial outlay is based on bills for things necessary for living. Then it's our excessive lifestyles. And our excessive lifestyles are our mobile phones. They're not cheap. Paying for those. Paying for internet. Paying for, dare I say it, women who get their nails done. I mean, I know some women who live in cash-strapped houses, but they would never go out their front door without having their nails done. I mean, all of those things are at a cost. So when I compare back then and to now, that line that you could cross to going to poor has closed. That gap, there was a gap. It's completely closed. So now people worry about their general bills, but everything else on top that they can't live without anymore. They can't live without their mobile phone anymore. They can't live without their internet. And I admit, I'm one of those people. I mean, I'm on here all the time, so I rely on my internet. But seriously, I panic when my mobile phone bill is due. I mean, I've only ever had it once where the direct debit couldn't be paid. That was a couple of months ago. I seriously had serious meltdown. serious meltdown. I kept going to every Wi-Fi hotspot to access my phone. But I had serious meltdown because I rely on it so much. Yet, it's the most ridiculous luxury. I mean, the most ridiculous luxury. Yeah, I've come to rely on it, and it's part of my financial outlay. So that line between when you can be living well and then suddenly find yourself on the streets, that line is blurred because we rely on all of these other things in our lives, which messes up our finances. And God, if we didn't rely on all this stuff, we'd be quite well off, actually. One of my friends, I mean, she made me laugh. She's a work colleague. And she said, oh God, times are really tough for her and her hubby. Really tough. And I went, oh, are they? Knowing that she earns about, 4K more than me a month. Yeah, times are really tough. Yeah, we've had to give up Friday Chinese. Can you believe it? Times are tough. They had to give up their Friday night takeaway Chinese. Jesus Christ. Some of us don't do that on a regular basis. I might do it once a month. I do it around payday. I will have some sort of takeout. But Friday nights, like every week, my God, that normally equates to, for her family, I think that equates to something like £35. So you put that in, £35 times 4. You do the maths on that. That's a hell of a lot of money spent on takeaway every month. And that is the fine line between living well and then crashing. And I probably am not making sense to a lot of people, but it's something I've been thinking a lot about lately, because I've been thinking about my own situation and the fact that my wages have not really gone up in the last 5 years. About 4 years ago, I felt more comfortable, financially comfortable, and over the last few years, that financial comfort has slowly sort of been unravelling. And the reason for that is we had like a sort of like a recession-y kind of period, and things went up. They haven't really gone down, so bills gradually went up. So every single bill I pay is far more than it used to be. My gas, electricity, phone, internet, everything is far more than it used to be, and even transport, my bus pass and things like that. But my wages never went up. No, they didn't go up because, we haven't had a pay rise. So for me, I'm having to make do with less, and having to, my life, I have cut a lot of social activities that require financial expenditure. I have cut them. Where I used to go maybe for lunch, once or twice a week in my lunch break at work, go with someone to a cafe or something like that. I don't do any of that anymore. Or an evening out for a meal. I don't do that anymore. It's like an occasion if I do. Because I can't justify it, because, that one meal out, say for £25, £30, that could actually be my groceries for the week. That could be part of my gas bill. And that's the reality of it. That's how things have changed. And so when I think about the homeless man on the street, I think, well, I'm just like you. I'm just coasting by, but one bill that comes in that I have to pay, that's going to knock all my other bills, is going to cause a domino effect. And that plays in the back of my mind all the time, because I think, wow, I'm living on this sort of edge. And a lot of people I know are now. A lot of people I know are living on this sort of like edge, this precipice of finance. I don't have credit cards, and I don't use credit cards or anything like that. Yet I'm living on an edge. So you throw in the mix credit cards and debt. Oh my God, I think I'd be throwing myself off the precipice. I think I would. I'd just like launch myself. I'd have to launch myself more, because I've already got some debt. I couldn't bring any more debt in. It would just be too much. And that's the reality for many people nowadays. And those select few that, make a really high living or whatever, probably doesn't affect them, or it does affect them, because actually the more you earn, the more you spend, and that's the reality. More, the more I've been like that. The more I had, the more I used and spent. The more frivolous I got, and at the moment I'm very careful. My only frivolity is my virtual world and my website. So my website's paid once a year. That's done for the next 12 months. And my virtual world, my bit of land, that's it. And that bit of land equates to that Chinese once a month, that meal out Chinese once a month. I'd rather pay it for my virtual land, because I get to see something from it. My Chinese once a month, I just get to see fat. And I don't. So it's unnecessary. I don't need any more fat. Yeah. But, it's just funny when you start to sort of really think about life, and you start to think about what you put your priorities in and how you lay them out. And I concern myself. I mean, just when I think about my priorities about the internet, my iPhone is glued to my side constantly, as is most people. The only thing that I do not do, that I see a lot of people do, and it drives me absolutely insane, I never ever take phone calls when I'm with people unless it's important. I try and avoid that. If I answer a call, I'll say I'll ring you back, because I'm not rude. And I feel that is really rude. And I also do not walk and text and walk and chat and things like that. I leave work every afternoon, right, around 4. And as I walk through because I walk through the town, and as I'm going towards my bus stop, there's a sea of people coming towards me, so various ages. No one's looking up in front of them. No one is looking. And they all are walking towards me to walk right back. And I am spending my time sort of darting in and out between people, trying to avoid actually being knocked over, because they're concentrating, looking at their mobile phone, playing some game, texting someone, updating their social medias, Facebook and Instagram. It's really funny. And I don't know how they can do it. I can't do it. If I'm out and I need to send a text, I have to stop, go and stand to the side and do it. I cannot walk and do it. I'm conscious of the fact that actually I'm going to walk into someone. But some people have become so thick-skinned they don't care. I have thought about deliberately just keep going and just walking into them and going, well, it was your fault. But that wouldn't really make sense, because I'm the one with my eyes upright ahead. So it would appear to be very deliberate. Damn it. But there's the other side of me. I have thought about doing this, and I think I might still do it. I've always wanted to put a YouTube video together to describe society as it is now, and I think I might still do that, actually. And just basically walk with my phone and video people as I go past them, because you will be shocked at the amount of people that actually are not looking ahead. And the amount of mothers that are pushing prams, that are either got their phone craned at their neck, talking to someone, or they're pushing a pram and they're texting. And I'm like, but the child's talking to you. Why are you not engaging with the child? That bit I struggle with. I just think, what is wrong with you? Why have kids? Really, why have them? You need to, that's the most important time when they're young, is to engage with them. But nowadays, that's what kids see. Kids see communication is through your mobile phone. That's it. That's how they're growing up. And I can say that about little Mason. I mean, I have to say he's a little genius child. I mean, he knows, he's not even 3 yet, and he knows every single dinosaur's name, and he knows what they look like. So if he sees a dinosaur, so you hold a toy up to him or a picture, he will name that dinosaur, and he's right. I mean, I can't even say this. When he says Tyrannosaurus Rex, he has this cute little tongue movement. It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I love it. Absolutely love it. But I didn't even know what a Tyrannosaurus Rex looked like. I just knew they had little arms. He knows them all. So he has learned a lot of things because he watches a lot of he watches documentaries on dinosaurs. I know. Smart little fellow, isn't he? But he also likes watching this was Andy's Prehistoric Adventures as a kids show. My daughter gets him to watch that all the time, and it's always about dinosaurs and stuff. But but here it is. He takes my daughter's. I won't let him touch my phone. I just won't let him do it. He takes my daughter's iPhone. He picks it up, and he doesn't know the passcode, but he knows how to access the camera, and then he knows how to take a picture, and then he knows how to edit the picture. I know. He also knows how to get Siri to work. And then he starts talking to Siri, and Siri does all sorts of things, as we know, so probably misunderstands half of what he's saying. But Siri asked him on Saturday, Siri said, "Who did you want to send that to?" And he went, "Grandma." And Sophie went, no, that's my daughter. He did. He sent me a text message because I'm stored as grandma in the phone. And I got this text message. I was like, oh my God, the kid can send text messages using Siri. How? I won't lie, I'm quite impressed at the intelligence and the ability to do that. I am. Seriously, in a world that's full of technology, I guess you have to be able to do all that. But on the other hand, I'm like, I didn't want you young people to grow up like this. But the great thing is my she's a fantastic mum, and she does an awful lot of things with him. I don't think that's why he's so smart, because she does a lot of teaching things with him, is always taking him out. She does a lot of cooking with him and teaches him cooking skills. I know he's so young, but he likes when you bake cakes and he ices them and stuff like that. He's really into that, and she reads to him a lot. They do a lot of things, but I still struggle with the technology thing. She's given him her iPad. I know, not even 3. He doesn't get to keep it in his room, but when she's really busy at home, because she does lashes and sort of microblading and stuff like that. She's a beauty stuff with clients. When she does that, and if she can't get any child care, she'll often let him sit on his iPad, and I think she's got it set so he can't access adult stuff, but he finds every single dinosaur video there is on YouTube and he watches them. I think she's done something in the settings to allow him to just see that, so he's forever just sitting there watching dinosaur things, but it still kind of saddens me. But that's kids for today now. It's really bizarre. I logged in World on Saturday because I had him on Saturday, and I logged in World because I thought I'll just finish some bits of a dance video, because he was in between me and my son, and he spends a lot of time with my son, so he was with my son running up and down and stuff like that. So I thought I'll log on the computer and finish this dance video that I did for Sunday. And one of my friends from YouTube and now in SL was there, Drac, and he teleported me to where he was. Yeah, they're all furries. I don't understand the community, I'll admit it, because I've never really been exposed to any of that really in virtual. I've been exposed to adult sites, obviously, and stuff like that, but there are communities I've never ever sort of hung around in or knew anyone in. So that was really interesting, but everyone was on Voice, and so I had to go on Voice, and it was adult, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I'll go then, because Mason came running in, and Drax said, oh yeah, you don't want kids to see this. I was like, oh, and I hadn't read properly, and I went, no, you're right. So I normally when I go away from the computer, when I'm engaged with him, I'll actually leave myself online, because I don't want to lose a win lie or whatever, and I minimise it. But I actually logged off because I thought, just in case. I tend not to necessarily take. Mason likes virtual worlds, because it's like cartoons for children, isn't it? Virtual worlds and virtual people. So, but I make him videos. I make them, and I've changed the channel, so my little Isabelle character's on another channel, and I now put that link in my description underneath all my videos now. But So he really liked Sansa. And I think the thing with Sansa that I found helpful was that it's asexual. It's not really sexually interesting at all. And like he very blatantly says, Bob, you know, one of the minions, he looks at my avatar and calls her Bob because she's that butch. Oh, Lyndon Lab, please make us pretty. I want my avatar to look a little bit more prettier. I try really hard to dress her, and she just has no personality. She needs to get her personality. But anyhow, that's probably the only world that I really do let him I let him take control of the mouse, and I've shown him how to walk and stuff. But and the reason we like going in there, because there are a couple of like sims that when you land, like this one with the elephants, so you've got from the perspective of the avatar, then you've got real life footage of elephants coming towards you, that kind of thing. He absolutely loves that. He just loves all that kind of thing. So I visit places like that with him and let him look, and he goes, oh, you know, it's this and it's that. And do you know what? I think one of the things I think would be wonderful if Sansa did it would be to create a children's space, like a virtual Sesame Street area. I would love it. Oh my God, that would be absolutely brilliant. Somewhere where, because let's face it, we're not going to go back in time with all this technology. It's just going to go forward. But I think it would be really wonderful if they could create a level where it's interactive for young people and for learning and stuff like that. Maybe I could create it. I just can't build stuff. But maybe I could. Let me think about that. I could call it Isabella's Land. Isabella's Space. The ABC of Isabella. I don't know, I'll think about that. Anyhow, yeah. I digress. But yeah, it's technology. Everything is just moving forward. And, you know, artificial intelligence is just like really sort of spooking me out now. Do you know what? I was watching a film the other day. Do you remember the Will Smith movie, I, Robot? Kind of like a few years ago, that seemed kind of ridiculous. It's not ridiculous now if you've seen the artificial intelligent robots that there are out there. It's exactly on point, that film. And mind you, I like that film because he gets in there's a shower scene, isn't there? Oh my God, that man is just built to die for. He really is. Will Smith. But yeah. And do you remember that film that the robots start thinking? Yeah. And they're worried about that now. So, oh my God. It's all of it's coming forward. It's all coming forward, but nothing's going backward. Not yet. I have this feeling that we're going to combustulate at some stage. There's got to be a time when everything that we're going through peaks and it implodes. Most things implode at some stage, and then they transform into something new or something different. So I'm just waiting for that. And I reckon it will be that the whole internet system throughout the world is going to go dim and then what would we do then? Can you imagine if we suddenly had a zzz and everything, the electric system around the world, electricity suddenly stopped and the internet went down? What the hell would we do? Can you imagine it? The world would be in chaos. It would be absolute chaos. Don't bear thinking about, does it? Anyhow, have a really good week. I'm going to go now. I hope you have a great week. And as always, if you want to watch any more of this, please hit the subscribe button and that little bell, and you will see me every Monday. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.